Thank you very much. I'd like to give a welcome to those media people that showed up for this short press conference, but very important press conference. We're going to talk about the CARES Act funding from Weber County and what that means to our businesses out there. Before I get started, though, I would like to introduce the people with me. I'm Commissioner Gage Floor, Weber County. I have with me my fellow commissioners, Commissioner Jim Harvey, Commissioner Scott Jenkins. We have with us Mayor Mike Caldwell from Ogden City and some other mayors. Huntsville Mayor Jim Truitt is with us. Riverdale Mayor Norm Cyril, Roy Mayor Robert Dandoid, along with his assistant Matt Andrews, who runs the business development. And we have with us other mayors with Sharon Bolos is represented by Kim Dixon, right there. Did I miss anybody? Oh, and
Dale Powers.
Hooper Mayor, excuse me, Dale Powers is with us. So appreciate it very much. Hope I didn't miss anybody. We have all the assistants with us. So we just wanted to take a few minutes of, on this very important issue. And you know that about 2 months ago, we had a press conference. We held a press conference, and we made the commitment at that point in time that due to the recent COVID-19 epidemic, that Weber County has your back as your businesses. That's very important to us because we understand not only the health concerns that COVID-19 has brought to us, but also the economic impact that COVID-19 has brought to us. We have your back since that point in time, and we continue to have that today. And so we're here to announce what we're going to do next to help our businesses in Weber County. And that is funded through the CARES Act, the coronavirus fund that is established through the Treasury Department. And money for this program has come directly from the feds by way of the state and has been given to the county and also every city within Weber County. Totaling approximately for this first round, and I think we'll get into more detail as far as the money available, but approximately $12 million will be allocated to businesses by Weber County, and another 2.5 to 2.8 million will be allocated through Ogden City that we'll explain in just a minute. I wanted to give special thanks to the mayors that aren't here today. Far West Mayor Lee Dickamore. We mentioned Huntsville Mayor Jim Truitt's with us. Hooper Mayor is with us. We mentioned Powers. Merritt Slaterville Mayor Scott Van Leeuwen. North Ogden Mayor Brett, that's not North Ogden Mayor, is Neil Berube. Correction. Plain City Mayor John Beasley, and we have Robert Dandoy with Roy that we talked about, and Russell Porter from South Ogden. Urena Mayor Gordon Cutler. Those are the mayors and the cities that agreed to come on board with the county and help us promote this program. Just so you know, I've been a Weber County business owner for a number of decades, and I understand firsthand what the stresses of this business environment is on our community and on our business owners. And we're confident that as we build this program to distribute these federal and state funds to our local businesses, that we will get through this. We will make sure these businesses are healthy and that we get them back into operation and as quickly and as cleanly as possible without undue burden as we progress through this next step of our program. Next we'd like to hear from Commissioner Jim Harvey, that's going to talk about who's eligible, then Commissioner Jenkins, and then we'll pass some time on to Mayor Caldwell for his remarks for Ogden City. So, Commissioner Jim Harvey.
Thank you, Sheriff Rohr. Appreciate that. You know, we understand that people have been impacted quite heavily during this pandemic, but our businesses especially have been impacted to a huge degree. And that's why at Weber County, we wanted to make sure that they knew through this CARES Act funding that we in Weber County government are going to be last to the trough. We're the last ones participating in this. We want to make sure that our businesses are healthy, our local businesses are healthy and are doing well. For many of them, it's been incredibly difficult for them, and we respect and understand this. And That's the reason we're moving forward with this. The applicants who participate in this will be eligible for between $2,000 and $35,000 in funding. Both profit and non-profit businesses can make application. The businesses either need to be open or plan to be open during this time. The businesses must be current with their property taxes, and they can't have any legal actions or liens that the county's placed on them. The business owner needs to be at least 18 years of age, and he'd have to have a valid employee identification number. They have to be a sole proprietor, or they have to have a valid social security number. We've done our very best to streamline this so those funds can get to those businesses as quickly as possible, so that they can use those funds to give the relief to their own businesses the way they see fit. So with that, I want to introduce Commissioner Scott Jenkins.
Thanks, Commissioners, I appreciate it. So, the way this is going to work time-wise is July 6th. Remember that day, July 6th. That's the day you can come in and start applying for these funds. And you can apply for them all through the month of July. And we're hoping to start making awards by the last week of July. And then the funding itself will start flowing to your accounts the first week of August. So that's a pretty short time. July 6th to the first week of August, we think we can put money in your hand. So please don't delay. Get in here and get your job done, and we'll do our best we can as a county to put money into your hands. Mayor Caldwell, you want to take it from there?
Thank you, commissioners and mayors. And one of the things we've talked about from the onset of this is that we're all collectively in this together. And the health of our businesses and our residents and everyone else is of critical importance to all of us. We have the same type of funding and the same type of criteria that will be eligible. We have a full-time group of people in Ogden City that are there and want to make this as easy as possible for people to apply and to get money as quickly as they can. I want to thank Tom Christopoulos and his group. He's our Economic Development Director for Ogden City, and they've been working on this now for months. And so we appreciate this collective and collaborative effort as we look at how we can get through this with the least amount of damage as possible. So I really do want to thank everybody for working on this. It's been an unprecedented time for everybody, both economically, with mental health, physical health, and everything else. And we want you to know that you have our commitment to keep working on this and do everything we can to help you. So thank you for taking the lead on this. Thank you for inviting us in. And we look forward to doing everything we can to help everybody as we move through this. Thank you.
Yeah, let me just make the comment, even though there'll be two separate, possibly three separate programs with Ogden City and Harrisville, we're all on the same page. We've identified in Weber County just under 1,800 businesses that were forced to close or did close because of the COVID-19 epidemic. Those are the people, those are the businesses that we will concentrate on first. Just under 800 of those are within Ogden City boundaries. We're confident those 800 businesses within Ogden City will receive very speedy application process and ability to get funds in their hands as quickly as possible. We are committed for the other roughly 1,000 businesses within Weber County outside of Harrisville and Ogden City borders to make that happen very quickly. Again, this is a common program that we're going to have. We're on the same page. We will work hand in glove with both Ogden City and Harrisville to make sure those businesses understand where to go, how to apply, and when to do it. You said now our deadline is July 6th. That's a very important date. You might ask why we don't have more details out at this point in time. Those will be coming this week. The reason for that is that the guidelines are set down under the 601-2 Social Security Act that this fund comes about is fairly open. I was on a conference call, Zoom meeting actually yesterday afternoon with the Treasury Department. A lot of questions were asked. Quite a few of those were answered. But they're leaving this in the hands of the local county government, the city governments, to make those decisions on application. So the process that we'll be going through is fairly simple. There'll be an application process. There'll be a review process to make sure that we feel that we're in conformity with the guidelines. And then there'll be an audit provision to make sure that we don't fund one business more than one time, and that those businesses that deserve it will be the first at the trough. As Commissioner Harvey said, we have decided as county government that we'll be last. We have the ability to reimburse ourselves for expenses related to the epidemic. Right now, Weber County has approximately $2 million between county government and the health department. But we're going to wait to make sure that we put the money in the hands of the businesses that deserve it the best, and then put that there first. With that, I'd be happy to answer any questions or pass that on to the mayors, the people with us today that answer those questions.
Where will the application be?
So there is a website that is now up and going, is my understanding. I don't know if the application's on there yet, but will be. Is that correct?
The application to apply will be live July 6th, but the website is live now.
So that the website is actually WEBERcares.com. WEBERcares.com is where you can go. And I'm sure that Ogden City and Harrisville also have their website. We'd encourage, hopefully we'll have one landing page that will direct anybody, any business that goes on looking for CARES Act funding to their appropriate source. And that's what our plan is. Will Banks is directing, our economic development director is directing our team, was mentioned. And there's going to be a lot of work yet to be done over the next few days before July 6th has, because there are obviously a lot more details that need to be given to the businesses before we hit the ground running.
And you mentioned one other thing. Ogden's site is ogdencares.com, and it will be live later today. And the two sites will link to each other, so businesses can.
OgdenCares.com, is that correct?
Yep.
Ogden Cares, no, WeberCares.com, OgdenCares.com. We know that for a fact. And my understanding is the application will be an online application through a program we call Zoom Grants, which should be very easy to fill out. You have our commitment that we are going to try to expedite these applications as quickly as possible and as timely as possible, simply because these funds need to go out within a short period of time so that we're eligible for the second tranche of money, which would take place after that. I didn't mention that we have actually two additional opportunities for about the same amount of money. If you take the total dollar amount that's available to Weber County and the cities involved, it equates to about $45 million over that period of time. It is our intent and hope that that full $45 million will be in the hands of our businesses before this program expires at the end of the year. That's our commitment to the businesses. We just need your help in making sure that the cities get the word out to their citizens. And finally, we just say that we couldn't do this program without the city's involvement. We want the cities to know that we appreciate their involvement and that they're going to be directly involved with this process as we go through. They're going to be the ones that communicate this to their businesses. We're going to be the ones behind the scenes, making sure that the mayors, the council have the ability, have the resources to make this happen within their community. Additional questions?
So there, did you say 2,000 to 35,000 is what, and are these grants or loans or just?
Good question, Tim. So the preliminary that Weber County set up, they would be from grants, and they would be from $2,000 to $35,000. So when I say grants, that means they're not loans, which they would suggest they don't have to be paid back.
And what are the general qualifications, like who can access this?
Well, what we've done is really we've set some parameters, and again, I'm going to be fairly general in this. The first people that are eligible for these funds, the first businesses, are those that can prove that they've sloshed or spent any money on direct COVID-19 improvements or, I'm going to say capital improvements to their business or other money that was spent directly impacted them by COVID-19. The second tier would be businesses that are on that list I mentioned that were forced to close down, that we know that they actually had a closing, that we have the documentation. And those will be the second tier of businesses we'll go after. And then from there, we go into the nonprofits, government agencies that would also be able to apply, but would take a lower priority than those top two I mentioned.
Hi, question, ABC Board, Jordan. So I was wondering, people able to combine this with other loan assistance programs that cities offer?
Well, so the question comes up, other loan assistance. The one that we know for sure that Weber County is not making people opt out of the program is the PPP, the number of businesses who receive. What we will do though is if some of the business has received PPP funding or other CARES Act funding, they'll be given a lower priority. So obviously we want to help those businesses that haven't received funding to this point in time through the CARES Act. I know that there's counties that have eliminated businesses that have received PPP funding. That's not our intent. But our intent would be to lower that priority because they've already received some funding for that. Again, the overall goal here and the guidelines as we understand it is to be able to subjectively or objectively determine what the impact of COVID-19 has been on that business. And then after that, the degree they've been impacted in terms of lost revenue, impact on that business. That's our intent.
Does each tier have its own set allocation amount, or is it subjective as to how many apply, and so what's allocated to tier 1, tier 2, and so on?
Right.
I can help you with that. So there's 3 options, and your business will fit into one of those options, and then from there, it splits you through. So, and one of the things is if you did receive PPP or EIDL, you still are eligible. However, we'd like to show that you're spending this new grant in a different place.
And are there any other disqualifiers other than the ones that you mentioned to right away disqualify any businesses?
The only ones that didn't disqualify that were the ones that were mentioned before. Obviously, the PPP businesses will be funded or given a priority at a lower level, and that's what we've decided at this point in time. Again, keep in mind, this is a moving target for us. As we come out with the final application process and any requirements we have reviewed, that probably won't take place finally until Friday of this week, be in time for application on next Monday.
And some of it is, since there weren't those strict guidelines, we know Davis County has opted to do it on size of the companies. Weber County is looking at more of an expense and revenue-based allocation of grants.
What we're looking to do again is provide documentation, whether that be objective or somewhat subjective, that these businesses were in fact harmed by the COVID-19, and then the degree revenue, total number of employees may have been impacted.
And
Did you understand it's fairly general, but that's the guideline.
Did you say they have to be sole proprietorships? And I guess could a chain, like a big chain apply for that?
How about this? There's quite a few specific questions. Why don't we wrap up this portion of it, and then we'll do one-offs, and you can talk to the program detail managers. Does that work?
Yeah, we can get into the details one-on-one if you'd like, Kim, but we'll make sure we address that. Okay, let me say again, thank you to our mayors, our city officials that were here. We appreciate this. We look forward to moving this program out next Monday, July 6th, and making sure this happens in a very timely fashion to help our businesses in this critical time. Thank you very much for being with us.